So to remove this one, this cover, we need to unscrew this screw, that screw, that screw. There's one more, so this screw, and here's a screw, and there's a screw, and there's a screw. You can see it, but it's there. Now you can see it, there it is. So I did unscrew all these screws. So if you untighten all of these, you can see this lid is loose, but not completely. Of course, it's still tight here to this tube, and you need to take care because there's a sensor here, this mass airflow sensor. Because what's going on here is you got here your front of your car. There the air is coming inside and it's going through there. And then here inside that tube going to the throttle, which should be over there. And then it's going to the intake, and from the intake it goes straight down into your engine. So it provides your engine of air, which is very important because it's a combustion engine and it needs air to explode the gasoline that's coming inside the car. And the gasoline, I'm not quite sure, I think is coming in by this tube here, like here in this rack, and they're all these how do they call it? No, this one not. Over there you've got the injectors. So those injectors, they inject the gasoline into your system, and so it comes in contact with the spark from the spark plugs, which are currently like here, and there's one of the spark plugs below. So this is the connector and below is the spark plug, and so there's a spark, and there's gasoline, and there's air, and then boom, and that's exactly what happens. So many explosions each second or each minute, second I think, and these cause the car to move, right, like you can see here. And a V6 is a bit complex kind of engine because it has two blocks, like one block of cylinders and another block of cylinders, and those are below. And then if you dive deeper, you're going to get the valves, and below are the cylinders, and yeah, and at the bottom is the oil, and the oil is also going through the whole system, so everything moves smoothly. And this coolant is also going into the engine, and they're like these chambers inside the engine itself that this coolant is going through, and it prevents the engine from getting extremely hot. So if we want to remove this, we need to unplug the sensor. I did damage this sensor, or at least the connector, because here there's like a pin usually that prevents this from sliding down, but I just broke it. So if I correctly, yeah, in your case just look how this clamp works, and I think you need to press something and then pull down. Okay, so we've got this loose. Next thing we need to do, we need to untight this one with a flathead screwdriver. I did loosen this one, so if I'm not mistaken, it's still a little bit stuck. Oh, it's still stuck. Need to unscrew it further. Okay, now it should be loose. And important, you can see this goes inside here. So if you want to put it back, you know the position. remove it like so. Okay, I'm going to put this aside. And here is the filter, the air filter. So if you would like to change this one, just put it up. Yeah, so this is how it's those things going facing down. This is the way it should be replaced. Then here, this is also a piece. Oh damn! Oh, that's not good. It's completely loose. They didn't put it back together the way it should. Not okay. Anyway, there's a screw over there, and usually there's a screw over there, but this one is screwed. So I only need to untighten this screw, and then what you need to do is you need to move this whole lid upwards. So there's like a clamp there, so you need to move it upwards, and then you can loosen it from that piece. And usually you should unscrew these two screws, but just as I said, the ones working on this one screwed this up. So after removing this, now we can reach the connectors for the spark plugs. So if you remove these, then underneath, and then you unscrew these bolts. Underneath there you can find the spark plugs. If you are increasing the gas, you're going to do that with this thing. So, and what it does, it opens the valve here and brings in more air into your engine. So more air means more force for the explosions. The only thing we're doing is this. And I think I can also show you this. I'm not quite sure if it works this way. Yeah, you can see. So this opens up. If I am going to sleep and continue tomorrow, I want to close that thing, and it's going to crush everything if this is laying like so. So I'm going to put it somewhere aside. And also if you've got like here screwdrivers or other equipment, don't put it here anywhere. So there was this leaking here. Perhaps I can go there with my camera. It's all wet and thing. But I also found another problem here. I'm not quite sure if you can see with a bit of light. Yeah, there is coolant also below. So I'm going to remove this intake manifold. Oh yeah, important, I did unscrew that cap, but of course we need to drain the coolant. Big flathead screwdriver. No. Anyway, so what we need to do is, where is that thing? Oh, here it was. Yeah, this one. So we need to unscrew this thing and keep the bucket below. So this is leaking out a little bit slow. Now you can see the level of this coolant is going down. It was all the way up, so you can see that it works. Here's the minimal level of your coolant, so you don't need to open up the cap to see. It loosened the screw completely. So it's somewhere in this reservoir, and then it started to go really fast. A lot of spillage of this ugly stuff. You can see it's almost empty. Later on, don't forget to put back the screw if you're going to fill up again your reservoir with cooling fluid. And never start the engine without filling up your cooling fluid. Remove this intake manifold. Down below there, were coolant tubes, and these coolant tubes you need to disconnect if you want to take off the lid. So if you do that when there's still coolant in your reservoir and in your system, then you'll have a whole lot of coolant over your engine, and you don't want that. It's already happening, and in my case I won't be able to see where it's coming from. Okay, so if we continue to remove all those screws, be aware that there are also connectors to sensors. So here's one, you need to unplug it. Let's see. A bit better light. So you can see here, there's this thing you need to press, I think, for this to come off. And here's another one. From the back there's also a sensor. You also need to unplug it, and there's a screw. This will be hard to reach. Yeah, you can see the screw now centrally. That screw needs to go loose. Here's the map sensor, I think, or a mesh. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, there's another sensor, and there's one that needs to come off, and from the other side. So let's start with this one. I never did this, so that comes off quite easily. So you need to press this. Here on the top, and just remove it like so. Oh, this one. Do you remove this one? Just getting behind that lid. Not sure if that will help. Yes, it does. So a screwdriver, perhaps a smaller one than this, but it helps. So this connection is loose. That connection is loose, so I'm going to unplug this connection, and here I think in the back is also, it's not visible here. I think this is something that I need to press to get this loose. With two hands, I guess. Alright, smaller size flathead, put here inside, move up a little bit and move it to the back, and then it's loose. It was a pain in the ass. Alright, going to continue. That screw, I did loosen it, a small one. So here goes a small. So if, like me, you sometimes lose your screws, it's good to have a magnet tool, like the one that you can bend like this, so to get your screws where they fall. So I'm starting with the screw there, and I'm going to unscrew this one. So let's see how much force. Oh, this comes out quite easy. Okay, so I'm going to continue with that one and move on. Okay, so that screw over there, it's quite long. So the one here was short, the one there long. Okay, so here as well, long screw. So next one is there. I need to unscrew that one, and then we're going to continue to this one. Okay, first problem. This one was all untight, so it was really easy to remove. Why? Because it is broken. So this screw here was actually broken, and it's a small one. Okay, look at the next one. Short. And the next one long. And I think those rubbers, they are loose, so I'm going to take them together with the screw. Okay, so with the two screws behind the intake manifold, you need to put your arm in and start unscrewing that. And here in the back, that bolt I showed you earlier, it needs a 10 millimeter. So okay, so I'm going to try again. So the first screw that came out from behind is small, and so you only need to loosen it, and then you can just remove it with your fingers. So the last screw is about here and then from behind, but I can't reach it from here. As you can see, my fingers go up to here and not far enough. What I can do is remove or to loosen this tube here. I think there's a clamp here as well. Let me see for better lights. Yeah, you can see there's a clamp as well. Okay, so now this one is loose, and I hope this gives me just enough space to be able to get my hand. Yeah, I can put my hands behind now. All right. So what I did, removed the screw. As you can see, that's one is also a tiny one. It comes together with a ring, so I did pull out the ring as well. And so what I did, with one hand I assisted from above, with the other hand I went down there to be able to wrench it out, and then from above I just unscrewed it like so. Okay, to get to the bottom screw, this is, if you can see, the intake manifold is already a bit loose, but still underneath there's a screw. Here comes in a tube from the coolant system. It travels like this, and here's another one. So these you need to open with pliers, I think they're called in English, like so, and you can move out, and that hurts to do it with two hands. Anyway, I'm going to move that ring a little bit more to here, and then take the tube and just take it out. Okay, doing this the first time, and well, I think I'm going to use a different method. I think I'm going to loosen it here, and this line, it was the tube that we disconnected and goes all the way there. So I'm going to try to loosen it there and not here, and then it will come together with the intake manifold. And also struggling here with these lines, because well, they need to come out as well. And this here, this clamp for the sensor, I think we need to take this one out as well. Perhaps immediately. Yeah, that one works easy. I'm going to put this a little bit down. Alright, so that's the way you do it. I put the clamp back here, and well, the tube didn't move at all. And here I moved this clamp a bit backwards, by pressing here on those things with pliers, and then I just pulled it out, and you can see here, and there's a bit of coolant. Oh, it did already get out of the system, so now we're going to go there. This one. Alright, these clamps are a pain in the ass. I use these kind of pliers, perhaps those are the wrong ones. Okay, what you need to do anyway is to put pressure like this, and then you can move it down, and it was here, so I can see if I can. Oh, damn it, there's absolutely no movement. Alright, that didn't work. It seems like it's glued here. It's really stiff. It goes all the way here, and I did try to wrench it out, but no way it's going to work. So I'm going to put this clamp back, and I think in the end I will have to have this whole system bungling on this tube, or several tubes. Damn it. Oh, wait. What is this? Oh, okay. So with these clamps, we really need to open them widely and then start to rotate this clamp a bit, because it's really stuck. So I did this here, and I did it with the other one as well. Still, this is a very heavily glued together system, it seems. I really hope it works to get this loose. Done. Alright, look how it came out. Okay, so you need to keep one hand here, other hand on the other side, and start to rotate and pull, and finally those pieces get loose. But it was a horrible job. Okay, now I see how to remove here this thing for the gas. 2 bolts, and this thing will come loose. How firm they are. Oh, it's quite easy to get them out. Okay, it came out. This together with some rings, small screw. So the second screw was exactly the same, and now we can take out this line, which is completely like loose. And how you do it, you move this one up, and you move this one, so the line goes through this hole. Do the 2 hands and just move it out. Okay, this piece was also quite easy. See, it's like a clamp on this thing, so it was like, I can put it back on and you can see, like so. It was, yeah, so it clicks. You just only with your fingers move it in this direction and it will get loose. Okay, so now we've got these lines out of the way, a little bit more space in there, and we can get our screw, which is I can't see if you can see it. Oh yeah, there you can see it. So that screw needs to come loose. Okay, so that one there, you can reach it if you put it in like so. 10 millimeter thing. Okay, so that screw was really horrible. I had to use one of these 10 millimeter to get there with my hand, because it wasn't possible with this tool. There was just too little space, and so it took quite a while to get it out, and most of it I tried with my fingers, so my fingers hurt now. why things are so hard. First I'm going to disconnect this one and try this one again. Okay, I'm struggling with this one and with that one, so I need to check how to do that. And this one came out really easy. Just hold it here and wrench it out. Okay, and there's here this line. Loose. Just underneath this one, you can see there's a connector. Needs to get loose too. I think I need to press here and take it out. Let me take a look. Here we couldn't take this one out. So what you need to do, flathead screwdriver, and you need to press. Like there's a ring. There's a ring at the bottom. You need to press it down while with your other hand pulling this part up. And then it came out quite easy. As you can see here, lower part, here is the thing that I got out. And same procedure for this one. Okay, so I think it's loose completely now. I'm going to try. What you do is you pull it up and here move it over this tube here, like so. And I'm going to do that with two hands because it's quite heavy and I need to see if I'm not breaking anything. So, and this is the hole. So later on I want to check inside, or perhaps now, how it looks. So this is what you see then, and what I see is I think all those gaskets are leaking. See, there's fluid here, it should be dry from what I know. So all these need to be replaced. You see here, they're sweating. So what I want to do is I want to open this part as well. And be careful, you need to put some towel over it or some paper in it. So no small parts will fall into the engine. So I put toilet paper in all those holes so nothing can fall inside.